Hey guys, DT Gaming here. So I'm gonna do some fishing here on Belaya River. We're gonna go be checking out a few spots on this map. So be sure to pay attention because I'm gonna be visiting multiple spots to show you guys the best spots where you guys can be fishing here on Belaya. So mostly this lure is one that's active the most. Okay, there's a Spiker 2018. And there's other lures you can use too, and I'll show you guys as well. You can use the 016 and the 018. These are usually the two that's best. For the Hornets, some work but some don't. But I will stick with the two spikers I just showed you. Um we want to keep speed at least 25 for this. Alright. And don't reel right away. Give it a few seconds to see if something will bite. Okay. Now I don't know if these fish are active. That's why I'm gonna be checking different areas. Hopefully find a spot. Like I said, I just check to see if something bites on the drop, and if it don't, then I'll start reeling. You can do speed ups as well. Usually when I do speed ups, when the speed up disappears, I'll stop reeling. Sometimes a fish will actually be following it, and when you stop reeling, the fish can catch up. Oh, excuse me. Dang, it's cute. Look at that. Nice grayling too. That's what I mean. These fish actually are always on the move. They'll move, but they don't move fast enough. They're moving reeling too fast. So maybe it'd be best to go slower, like maybe 20 speed, because of that reason. If I wasn't reeling so fast, maybe the fish would have been able to catch up. So other spot I like to fish is right here. There's a rock back there. You see that back there? That's where I like to cast towards. This is spot usually good for the graylings. It used to be good for browns too. Again, I just let it tip to see if something grabs it. You just gotta be patient when you're fishing. Okay. Let it drift for a moment to see if you can get a fish to grab it. Because most times you'll get these big graylings and they'll always bite on the drop. But not always, okay? Like I said, give it a few seconds. If nothing grabs, then start reeling. Like I said, just mix up your reeling speeds. Do the speed ups, pause, and let it drop. That's the best method for fishing here with the light setup. Now, if I'm using a UL, you don't need a UL to fish here. You can use a light setup anyways, as long as you're able to cast this lure here and that you can cast a pretty good distance. You need at least about 30, about 25, 30 meters to actually get a better chance of hooking a fish, okay? You don't need to do speed ups even. You can just pause while just doing normal speed reeling. That works too. You can also cast this direction. There's a rock here and the rock that's right there on the shore. If you cast down like this, you can get fish here as well. Of course, be small fish. On the bed, Lil. On the bed. He won't get up there. Now, it might look like there's nothing here, because it probably ain't. That's why I'm exploring different areas they can fish. And to be honest with you, that looking at the R4 stat page, that there's only a few fish caught off of these lures here on Belaya. So something is off here. Usually you can catch fish at these spots. Another one's over here next to the cafe. Maybe just behind the camp. Right at this spot. You're gonna aim for that big rock back there. Again, that's it. This is usually a good spot to find your Arctics, the Arctic grayling, and also might be able to find your humpback whitefish as well. Again, remember, changing lures do help. This spot right here is usually good for using the spiker 016. Alright. Then down here is another spot. I'm just showing you guys the spots that I like fishing. So right at here, it'd be cast to the right side of this rock back here. You'll find fish here. Usually this side of the map, you'll find chubs and such. Chubs and asp is usually mostly you find here. As it gets closer to noon, you're gonna notice that the bite is significantly reduced. Even though if I don't catch many fish in this video, but I'm showing you guys spots where you could fish that might work for you. And the other spot is basically just on your side of the rock. That would be right here. Where you see this rock right here, this is where you're gonna cast in between the two rocks. Alright, I'm gonna do another cast here. Like I said, when it hits noon, the bites can be so reduced, or to no bites at all. Be sure to set the hook when you get a fish, alright? Make sure to keep the fish on. Now, you can cast this direction too, but keep in mind that you can get stuck behind this rock. You can hook into a fish. And if that does happen, you have to stop reeling for a moment. Move down the river or up the river, and then start reeling to force a fish around the rock. Okay, so there's not really many other locations on this side. In fact, there's nothing else to fish here on the side. So that's all the spots that are my favorite that I like fishing. So we're gonna go back to the other side, way on the end where the rock is. I'm gonna show you guys one more spot on that rock, but this is more or less if you're gonna do jigging. All right, not light fishing or anything like that. You know how I told you about the rock back here? There's another rock over this way. You can see that in the far back there. That rock. You can cast back there in between these two big rocks here. You can find fish. But like I said, it's best to use a jigging rig for this spot because you'll find zanders back here. Let me show you guys this so fast, okay? If you're gonna do jigging, right? You're gonna change to the jigging rig. I would use maybe a large one hook for certain, like this right here, maybe. The basically 12.5. And then you got your megas down here. Either the yellow or the mega. Actually, I think it's one of these that actually worked good for catching the Zanders. I think it's a yellow one, to be honest. And we're gonna turn our speed down on this one. I'm gonna put about 25. Remember I said about that rock back there? You're gonna cast back there. Wait, back there by the rock. You're gonna point your rod tip down for this, okay? You want to I think shift really will work at jig step. If jig step don't work, you might need to use a heavier weight. Okay, maybe it's just slow. Like I said, this is how you're gonna get Zanders. Once you figure out what lure is working for them. Like I said, it could be either this one or that green one. Or it could be the dark one too. Then I'll get a bite, I'm gonna change colors. Change colors. I'm gonna change to the dark one. Maybe that's the active lure for 'em. I'm not gonna do a full cast. Just want to cast just slightly in front of me. Just like to get at least 1 or 2 Xanders here, so I can show you guys that they are here. Doing a perfect jig step, but there's not a single fish here. Like I said, this is why you haven't seen a Belaya video being made in a while, is because there's no interest. If something is dead and we don't want to post videos, that ain't gonna be helpful. But this video I'm making for you guys is help you out in the future when it does become active. And you know where all the good spots would be. Following up, so that actually might work to our favor with the Xanders. Anyways, there's nothing biting here. So, with that being said, let's go back to the UL. See if we can find some graylings or browns. Yeah, let's change lures. Thought that might be a marker. Okay, finally getting good fish now. Ah, come on, game. I thought those would be a decent fish, and here's the non-marker ass. All right, 3 browns in a row. When you find that sweet spot, you always should stick with it. Like for example, the spot's actually doing pretty decent casting this direction. I'm going to grab a thumbnail here. You know, this spot's actually reducing uh, browns like this. It might be able to get a trophy out of this spot, but you gotta make sure you're casting at the right time when they usually bite. It's usually between um, 18 and 22. That's an ass. At least this time it's a marker. Barely. I was hoping to be a brown.
Alright.
Yeah. I usually go 18 with this anyways. That's a brown. Like another. No, what is this? Not a brown. Oh, look at that. I couldn't tell what the hell the fish was. I was like, like it's not a ass, not a brown. I could not figure it out. All right, it's 21:40. If we're gonna get that brown trophy, it has to be right now. Because after that 22, it gets dark fast. So we're gonna do one quick cast here. Hope for the best that we can get a good fish here. You guys wonder what I'm drinking? I got pumpkin spice iced coffee here. Pretty decent. Got still a bit of daylight, but it's now nighttime technically. But like I said, it gets dark fast. Although I really don't get trophies here at night. Like on Tunguska, I can get in between 18 and 22. This map might be different. Maybe it's more of a early morning instead of late night. Like for example, between 4 and 8 maybe for the trophies here. Well, once it gets too dark, this lure becomes ineffective because you're losing daylight, and you don't have light to reflect off the blades. Which kind of sucks because you would think that in real life, if you're fishing with a flashlight, it would create a reflection on the blade while reeling. But it is what it is. That's a good spot, guys. Definitely be it right here, 6526. You're going to be casting basically directly east from this spot. As always, when you're done with any sessions here on the game, be sure to check the cafe and see what you can find. Like, for example, we did get a couple graylings. That's 48 silver there. No zanders. Would have been nice if we actually found one. I mean, it could be biting right now, especially at night. That could be an option. But yeah, there's nothing else that bit. There's a big pike trophy order up. Never really caught any big pikes here. I got to get rid of a couple fish because these really don't count. Everything from down here 37 minutes ago. 87 silver. That's what we got from the cafe. But guys, if you start off in Belaya and start fishing, you ain't gonna get a lot of silver. It's not a big silver grind spot. It's more of a map to level up. You get good experience for these fish. Alright. They might not sell great, but you definitely get good experience. Anyway, that's gonna be it for the video. Like the video, guys. Hit the like button, appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Bye guys.